Hello, Internet. I'm Logan. I have a BS in CS and an MA in Linguistics, because programming makes me money and linguistics makes me happy, and welcome to my leg of the YouTube Conlang relay. I translated the relay text into WSL, or Wjerih Sarak Lezu, which is a language designed specifically to avoid categorization with standard parts of speech. So I'm interested to see how that goes in the next round, but let's start out with the text. Wjerih jester ein metz arve jev ein Lezu. Katerchu dwi hot mekis pekvor, dwi vachu serma vesans jo iska heto jerp ren I vachu merk jerp, vor ratsu ren jo mek jerp, vor jestu ail jo dwich akka avoram dwich gluch es. Ka heto jerp jes I mekins voram jo jes I kanale, ka dwi jesich heto agsopek. Ka dwi jur dak ins pek iska susain, tsav its pek iska mek jerp vor jester jokitsin a nacharachu es. Ka dujes I poskozich kamžich mur staj voram čoz tsaj sopek. Kamart imas I ase vjerhain jo es. Ka jesi kanala voș dvi tu jest mot iska mek jerp purko dvi I pajain meshk a jesum gel omis. Ka gradero I ase vjerhain jo es. Ka nach daku ren jo arv iska heto jerp ut ren I mu a es. Ka nashang stav dujas I jesumar Djej a jesumar meshk izes. Ka angsta jer nashjak ren I jes jomek vor paru par jes a dwumar parain tor its mek jerp vor angstav jesja es. Ka ren jo ase vjerhain I es. Ka jesi ase vjest jo meshk obvoram je jesum želu. Isče kas ren jo mek its iska heto jerp jak chors hetsir jerp. Now, with that out of the way, let's look at what I received. Here we have the original lines of the previous torch, my attempt at glossing, straightforward translation, and something approaching a smooth English translation. At this point in the relay, I figured the text was probably not going to make a whole lot of sense in the first place, so I didn't worry too much about trying to clean up things that seemed weird. The first bit I could not even figure out as forming a whole complete sentence, so it's just kind of a fragment. I kind of assumed this was supposed to be the title. And after that, it gets better. Individual sentences are usually mostly comprehensible, if a little bit bizarre, like, I don't know what it means to change your ear, but that's what it looks like it says. So if we go down to where I have collected the complete translation, what I ended up translating into WSL is something like this. 3 days of suns and moons. Fly around the grass today, because you sell seeds to the people, and then they sell while they die, while you change your ear on your head. Then I walk to what I desire. Follow me with salt. Come to the warm water, away from the northern cave, while the sources of rivers join into one. Let's walk along my thin walkway on the old bridge with 4 trees. The wise man speaks to the baby. I want to come closer while you save the torn sack, using my healing. The library speaks to the baby. They begin to warm up in the sun while they eat a morsel. We begin to soothe my hope because of my sack. While soothing, they begin to fail me by tearing me away from your cloth while soothing me. The baby speaks to them. I say a word about the big sack of my healing, but they do not grow out and then fail for 4 years. It's not really very coherent. A few individual sentences I'm reasonably confident about because they do seem to make coherent sense. This one in particular, it makes sense that warm waters would be away from the northern cave. Oops, I typoed that. Walking along a thin walkway, bridge with 4 trees, those are all sensible. There's some kind of regular structure about speaking to or listening to a baby, but how that originally was supposed to work into the rest of the text, I have no idea. So, now that you know what this text is supposed to say, and we'll see how it gets mangled on the next round, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the torch that I sent along for reference. Now, I mentioned at the beginning that WSL is intended to be a language that messes with the usual ideas of what parts of speech are, but in the hopes of not making this completely impossible for the next person who has to decrypt it, I did my best to try to explain it in terms that would make it easier to figure out this particular text. So we've got nouns like day and moon that refer to things that can be the arguments of clauses. Roles are basically case adpositions. I probably should have called them postpositions in the torch, but if you look at larger examples of WSL, that analysis starts to fall apart. So anyway, for purposes of interpreting this text, roles are case postpositions. Let's see. We've got 2 modals that I used in this text, but there's only 2, and I didn't do anything particularly complicated with them, so we don't really need to get into all of the messy details of the WSL grammatical modality system. Where you see peck, it basically just means stick should into the English translation. S is mostly just there to help clarify where a sentence ends. Although it does have other semantic uses. It doesn't really mean anything extra in the context of this text, so we didn't need to go into detail on that. There are a few examples of things that start to hint at more going on here. Like here, we've got Wjerih. That is the same kind of thing as the agent marker or this locative marker, but it means something which is a lot more verb or possibly noun-like. And we've got up here torch. This is a noun. I've translated it as the deverbal noun flight, but really it is not the same kind of thing as an English noun. The fact that this is a deverbal noun gives you a much better idea of what torch actually is. Semantically, it's closer to a verb. But I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. And I guess we'll see how well I succeeded when you look at the next stage in the relay. So, yeah. Bye.